Look at this plant. Alive, yes. Thriving, absolutely not. And I guarantee this is not a watering problem. But this one? Same species. Same sunlight. Different soil. Different food. Look at the size of those leaves. That is what aloe vera actually wants to do when you let it. Here is the truth most plant content refuses to say: aloe vera is not a low-maintenance plant. It is a low-water plant. Those are completely different things, and confusing the two is why your aloe looks sad right now. Stay with me through this video because the thing I am going to show you at the 2-minute mark about soil has changed plants for thousands of my viewers. You are not going to want to skip it. If you are tired of getting generic plant advice that never actually works, hit like and subscribe. On this channel I break down the science of soil and nutrients in plain language, no fluff, just what your plants actually need. Now let's fix your aloe. Let me show you something. This is standard potting mix. It is designed for moisture-loving plants, ferns, herbs, vegetables. It is not designed for aloe vera. When you water aloe in this stuff, it holds moisture against the roots for days. Aloe roots need to breathe. See this? These brownish, mushy root tips. That is not a disease. That is suffocation. The roots have been sitting in moisture they cannot process. And when roots are struggling, the plant puts everything into survival mode. Growth stops completely. Aloe vera is native to semi-arid regions. Its entire biology is built around the assumption that after rain, the soil dries out fast. When we put it in moisture-retaining mix, we are lying to the plant about its environment, and plants always tell the truth with their leaves. So the first thing we are going to fix, right now, is the soil. And I promise this single change will do more for your aloe's growth than anything else you will ever do for it. Here is the exact mix I use. You need 3 things. Cactus and succulent mix, this is your base. Coarse horticultural sand or perlite, this is what creates air pockets. And that is genuinely it. No compost. No moisture-retaining crystals. No garden soil. The ratio is simple, 60% perlite or coarse sand, 40% cactus mix. I want you to squeeze a handful. If water drips out when you squeeze it, there is too much cactus mix. The perfect mix barely holds together. When you water aloe vera in this mix, the water should reach the bottom of the pot within about 3 to 5 seconds. That is not a mistake. That is the goal. Fast drainage means the roots get a flush of water, then they get air. That cycle is what triggers growth. I know this feels counterintuitive when you have been told plants need rich soil, but aloe vera is not looking for nutrition from its soil. It is looking for structure, a place to anchor and breathe. The nutrition comes from somewhere else. Which brings me to the next part. Quick question, have you ever put your aloe into a big pot thinking more room means more growth? I see this constantly. It is one of the most well-meaning mistakes in plant care. And here is why it backfires. When aloe is in a pot that is too large, the soil around the roots stays wet for much longer because the roots cannot access all of it. You have essentially created a swamp zone around your roots. The plant focuses on surviving the wet soil rather than pushing new leaves. The rule is simple, only go 1 to 2 inches wider than the current root ball when you repot. That is it. Your aloe wants to feel slightly snug. When the roots hit the walls of the pot, that is actually the signal that tells the plant to push upward and outward. Constrained roots, when the drainage is right, produce more leaves faster. Aloe vera does not need heavy feeding. But it does need feeding, especially in a gritty, fast-draining mix where nutrients wash out quickly. Here is what I have learned after years of working with succulents: the fertilizer errors people make are almost always about concentration, not frequency. Too much fertilizer, especially nitrogen, burns aloe roots and turns the leaf tips brown. That browning is not a watering problem. It is chemical burn. What you want is a balanced NPK fertilizer, 10-10-10 or similar, diluted to 1/4 of the recommended dose. Quarter strength. Once a month. Growing season only. From spring through to the end of summer, once per month at quarter strength. That is 4 to 6 feeds per year. From autumn onward, stop completely. Aloe slows down in winter, and if you feed a dormant plant, the roots cannot process it, and again, you get burn. Timing is everything. Your aloe vera is constantly talking to you. Every color change, every curl, every soft patch, these are messages. And once you know how to read them, you can fix problems before they spiral. Let me walk you through the most common ones. Pale or yellow-green leaves. That is nitrogen deficiency. Your plant is not getting enough of its primary growth nutrient. Leaves curling inward. Water stress or too much direct sun. Brown mushy base. Root rot, likely from overwatering or poor drainage. Thin, curling leaves with reddish tinge. Phosphorus or sunlight issue. The goal is leaves that are thick, firm, fleshy, and a deep blue-green color. If you hold a healthy leaf and press it, there should be resistance. That is the water and nutrient storage doing its job. Thin, soft, pale leaves mean the plant is depleting its reserves. That is your early warning system. We are about halfway through and I hope this is already clicking for you. If it is, smash that like button right now, it genuinely helps this channel reach more plant lovers who need this. And subscribe so you do not miss what is coming up. Watering. Everyone asks about watering. And the answer surprises people every time. Water your aloe deeply, then completely forget about it. That is not laziness. That is the correct method. Here is the method I use. Water thoroughly, until water runs freely from the drainage holes. Then lift the pot. Feel the weight. Put it down. Come back in a week, lift again. When it feels noticeably lighter, wait 2 more days. Then water again. You are waiting for the soil to transition from damp to dry, not from wet to damp. In summer, this might be every 7 to 10 days. In winter, it might be once a month or less. Do not put aloe on a watering schedule. Put it on a soil condition schedule. The plant tells you when it needs water. You just have to learn to listen. Light is the fuel. Everything else we have talked about, the soil, the nutrients, the watering, amplifies what light makes possible. Without enough light, aloe will not grow no matter what you do. Minimum 6 hours of bright indirect light. More is almost always better. Here is the growth hack nobody talks about. Put your aloe outside during summer. Even just a sheltered patio or balcony for 3 months gives it a level of light, air circulation, and temperature variation it can never get indoors. I have seen aloe vera triple in size over a single summer outdoors. This is not an exaggeration. Avoid direct intense midday sun at first, ease it out over a week or 2. Morning sun is perfect. And when you bring it back inside before the first cold snap, you will have a completely different plant to what you started with. It is genuinely the best thing you can do for your aloe's size and health. If you are watching this and your aloe has been in the same pot for more than 2 years, it is almost certainly root-bound. And a root-bound aloe in the wrong soil is a plant that has completely stopped trying to grow. Here is the 10-minute repotting method that consistently triggers new growth within weeks. Step 1, remove the plant. Step 2, shake off as much of the old soil as you can, especially if it is a standard potting mix. Step 3, check the roots. Healthy roots are white or light tan. Dead roots are brown and mushy, trim those with clean scissors. Step 4, let the roots air dry for 24 hours before repotting. Step 5, pot into your new gritty mix. Do not water for the first 48 to 72 hours, you want any tiny root cuts to callus over first. Then water deeply. Within 2 to 4 weeks, most aloe vera plants respond to a correct repot with visible new leaf growth from the center. It is one of the most satisfying things in plant care. Let me bring it all together. Giant aloe vera comes down to 5 things: the right gritty, fast-draining soil mix. A pot that is just 1 to 2 inches wider than the root ball. Quarter-strength balanced fertilizer once a month in the growing season. Deep watering only when the soil is fully dry. And as much bright light as you can possibly give it, outdoor summertime if you can manage it. You now know more about growing giant aloe vera than 90% of plant owners out there. Go make those changes, even 1 or 2 of them today, and watch what your plant does over the next few months. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Click subscribe below. I post new plant nutrition and soil guides every week. Check the description for chapters and tools, and watch the video on screen right. It covers why potted plants stop growing and exactly how to fix it. See you there.